Good morning. It's day 2 on our trek into the Himalayas. This morning we're up bright and early. It's pretty cold, that's why I've got this funny little hat on. And we've already had our breakfast. But the plan today is to hike up to a place called Himalaya. And if we're strong, maybe even go a little bit further. But we're going to take it a little bit easy because we don't want to get up in elevation too fast and get any altitude sickness. So that's what we're doing today. So let's get started. The temperature overnight, if I had to guess, would have been between 5 and 10. So quite chilly, but not freezing cold. The rooms aren't heated, so you've really got to make sure you've got some clothes to wear in bed. So I just wore some thermals in bed. They provide you with a quilt, and we also had a sleeping sheet each, little sleeping bag liner, which was easily enough for us overnight. It wasn't that cold in the room, after you got settled in. The sun's risen now, and we're just moving up out of the town, and I just can't describe how great the views are. You can see on the camera that they are good, but when you hear the scale, it's just even bigger than what you see on camera. It's wonderful. Now the other thing about today I've noticed is that it's much clearer. We've almost got zero haze. We've got zero clouds. I can see a bit of snow up on that little peak up there. That's not your big peak. That'd probably be, 3,500 meters, that one. We're going a lot higher than that. And the big peaks you see in the distance are well over 7,000 meters. And hopefully we get a glimpse of them either today or tomorrow. And that's what I was talking about, exactly that. That towering mountain in the background there is just spectacular. With the snow blowing off the side of it, we get a great view. These porters are going to Durali. We were considering going to Durali. It's about 1,000 meters up. It's a little bit further than what we want, but they don't know how long it's going to take. They just keep going until they get there. Love the attitude, and look at the size of that. That is huge backpack. How many kilograms?
30 kg.
30 kg. Very strong man. Stronger than me anyway. There's an interesting Indonesian word that I really love, and it's brutal. And of course it means brutal, but I like the way it sounds, and it keeps flashing into my mind every step I go up this hill. Brutal. And it is brutal. It's brutal, but I'm loving the view. I don't know if it's bamboo groves or whatever, down to the valley, beautiful views. Getting up to the next village where I'm going to fill up with some water. I'm going to scull a bunch of water as well. You can see best view. Really? I don't know. Let's see if this is the best view. That is a very, very good view. The best so far. This is a place called Upper Sinoa, and they say they've got the best views. Well, they are some of the best views I've ever seen in my life. And I think it's just absolutely outrageously good. That huge mountain there is crazy, but that one's even crazier. Look how steep the peak on that is. In this place, they've got an espresso machine. Look at this one. Look at that, all the way up here. That's beautiful. I'm just going to order something. I love it. Electricity's just gone out, so I can't get a cappuccino or a flat white or whatever they were going to give me. But I can get a hot coffee. They're just going to boil up some water and give me an instant coffee, which is okay by me. The dog following us.
Is your first time?
First time, yeah. We've been married 12 years.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Are you a guide or are you
just
trekking?
We are just trekking.
Where are you from?
Kathmandu.
Kathmandu.
You know Kathmandu?
I've been to Kathmandu. Very, very nice. I got my topi.
I love Dhaka topi.
Yeah, I got my Dhaka topi in Kathmandu.
It's our culture.
Yeah. Do you like my necklace as well?
I think you got from Pashupati.
From where?
Pashupati.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you didn't went to Pashupati temple?
No, I got this in Pokhara.
Okay.
And I got this one in Kathmandu.
Okay.
I got this from a guy selling it from a bicycle. Such a beautiful day today. The path sort of flattened out a little bit. There's a little bit of up and down, and sometimes it's a little bit brutal. and sometimes it's a little bit easier. I can see a village down the valley there, a long way down the valley, and then that view is just to die for. Incredible. We're now at 2,420 meters above sea level. Never going to moan again. This guy's carrying a tumble dryer. I can't complain about carrying 8 kilos when that dude's doing, what, 30 kilos easy, and other gear on top of it. What a beast. Beautiful little bridge. We're actually on our way up at the moment, but everything involves a few little downhill sections like this one to the river. The uphill sections are not as brutal as before. They're sort of shallowed out a little bit. But it is lovely. I mean, that water looks crystal clear in there. I'm not sure I'd drink it without some, you know, purification tablets or something like that, but it's coming straight off the mountain, straight off that glacier up there. I'm sure it's beautiful. Just when you think you've got it easy, you get another brutal section. And it's brutal. Whee! As we get higher and higher, it gets cooler and cooler. And we have fantastic bridges like this, crossing rivers. It's just beautiful. It's actually almost cool enough now to have a jumper on, but because we're still climbing in elevation and our body temperatures are elevated anyway, you can sort of manage with a t-shirt, but it's, you know, as soon as you stop, you feel that cool chill there. And when I stop for lunch, I'll definitely be changing this shirt for a jumper. And I'm sort of feeling that this is the first sign for me that it's slightly more difficult now due to altitude. We're not that high. We're only about, what, not even 2.6 yet, but it's just slightly more difficult, and I think that might be an altitude thing. I'm just puffing a little bit more. Feels even a little bit more brutal. So we're at 2,600 meters. The path is up there somewhere, and it's obviously been washed away by an avalanche, because this here, that is ice and snow that's come from the mountain right up there. And we're sort of making a makeshift path across there through the bamboo forest to get to the other side and then scramble up through the mud. I mean, it's incredible. Never seen anything like it. I mean, it's not that cold here either, so it's just torn down the hillside. Unreal. Unreal. I wonder if that's dangerous because there might be another avalanche. We'll see. Well, that wasn't so bad. We're sort of almost across it now, and then we have to go up that. That's pretty bad. It's just a muddy hillside through the bamboo forest. But otherwise, it's okay. You can sort of see up there. It's come straight off the edge of the cliff up there. That's that avalanche. It looks like it's probably been here for a while. The path has changed significantly. It's a lot wetter now, and it seems to be a constant stream of water coming down the path. There's lots of little waterfalls off to the side, and it's just a little bit more challenging underfoot. But it's not as steep as it was maybe yesterday and earlier today when we had those steep steps. So there's a bit of sort of plus and minus to that sort of terrain. It's not as brutal, but you might get your feet wet, which we really don't want. We don't want wet shoes, wet feet, especially when we've got a couple of more days climbing to do. We've got snow for the first time aside from the avalanche. Look at that. So it must have been snowing here fairly recently. There's quite a bit of snow around as well. This is a Pojengham Bahara temple. Isn't it just beautiful? Look at that. Wow. Just a stunning place. Right here in the middle of nowhere. One of the things that you should do apparently when you come past here is ring these bells. And what it can do is provide a level of protection and safety along your journey to make your pilgrimage up to ABC a safe one. So, yeah, even if you're a non-believer, you may as well do it anyway, because what harm can it do? It's pretty cool anyway, as a bit of a cultural activity. My brother,
Yeah.
we both have a
Same to same.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Okay,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, have a good trip.
Yeah, okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, we're over 2,800 meters now, almost to our, I think our hotel for the night. I think we're going to call it a day up there. And the views up here are unbelievable. A raging river down below, the snow on the sides of the mountains, even at this level, and then up high. Well, it's just glorious. And the weather has been nice to us, even though we've got big brooding clouds in the background. Earlier today we had bright and sunny weather, and those clouds coming over have cooled it down somewhat, so making this trek just a little bit easier. I know when I stop walking I'm going to have to get my jumper on. I can't wait to have a hot shower. So let's get to that accommodation. Yo beauty! We reached our accommodation here on day 2. There's a bit of snow on the ground actually around here. 2,874 meters above sea level. The room's pretty decent. Like, it looks a little bit better than the one we had last night. Again, it's one of those rooms where you've got no heating in there, you've got no bathroom in there, you've got no electricity except for a light bulb in there. So if you need to charge your stuff, you've got to do it in the dining room. If it gets too cold, they'll have a wood-fired stove going if it's cold enough, which it might be tonight. And there is hot showers, so you have to pay an extra 500 rupees for a hot shower for 2 people. The room price is 900 rupees. Yeah, they don't charge you for charging your gear. Some places charge you. It's day 3 of our trek into the Himalayas. It's really cold this morning. It was freezing last night, and I slept with 2 quilts, all my clothes on except this big jacket. And today we're ascending even further up into the mountains. I can just see up there little avalanches come down the side there. The mountains are looking stunning this morning. And I'm looking forward to a good day of trekking without any sickness. But there is a real fear that as you ascend quickly, and we're going up about 1,000 meters today, that you can get some altitude sickness. So we're hoping we avoid that. There was a bit of rain last night, which I was surprised at, because if it's below 0, it won't rain like that. But it feels below 0, so I'm not sure whether it's not actually below 0 and it did rain, or maybe it got warmer while it rained and now it's got colder again. But there's a bit of wind in the air as well, which makes it feel colder. So let's get started on day 3. The path the whole way along this trail has been phenomenal. I was wondering how they got all the stones up here, but then I see this. Namaste! And look at this. They're mining it right here. They're actually making the stones, or making the steps right here into like the right shape, so they can carry them and make better paths. Wow, that's pretty cool. At a pretty high altitude too. We're nearly 3,000 now. What is it, 2,900? And it's getting a little bit harder to breathe properly. Like, I notice I'm a little bit more puffed now, even though I'm going real slow. You just find it a little bit harder to catch your breath. It's not a big deal, but we've just got to take it slow. This guy's carrying a gas tank, box of noodles, some other bits and pieces. Like, he looks like he's doing it easy compared to us. These guys are super strong, super fit, and they're well adapted to the altitude. And we're just mere, well, I was about to say white guys, but Susan's Asian. I'm the white guy, I'm the bully, and we're just not suited for it, you know what I mean? It's like a fish out of water. I was speaking to the tea house owner just earlier about when it snowed, because it looks like it snowed recently. You can see all out there, that white. He said, not snow. And I said, hail? He said, yeah, sort of. It's like a cross between hail and snow. I think for those who understand cold weather climates more than I do, probably know what it is. But there was a massive storm that dumped a whole lot of small crystals of ice everywhere, maybe freezing rain, maybe some other term, and it covered the area, and everyone had to stop in his tea house at about midday. That was only like 2 or 3 days ago, he reckons, so not long ago, and we're still seeing the remnants of it now. And he also said that today, or this morning, up in ABC, which is where we're heading in 2 days' time, he said this morning there was a big storm up there as well, making it very difficult to access due to deep snow and that sort of stuff. So something to keep in mind as we ascend higher and higher. It's going to get colder, more snowy. The weather conditions have a chance to be a little bit more dodgy. But today the weather is, sort of a little bit cloudy, but there is some blue up there. So I think we're pretty thankful for that. It was cold this morning, but as soon as you start hiking, I've only got 2 layers on and I'm boiling hot. I might even start hiking in a t-shirt soon. We carry on. I'm loving it. I am still apprehensive about whether I'm going to make it or not without being sick, but we push on, we give it a crack, and see what happens. And if it gets all too much, we'll come back down. We've finally made it over the 3,000 mark. Woo! It is brutal once again, and the snow or the ice is now really thick on the ground. The path is, fairly clear because people have been walking along it. I've taken my long sleeve shirt off. I've just got a short sleeve on now. Like the air is pretty cold, but because you're moving, you don't really need anything longer on at this stage. If I stop, I'll be putting a jacket on because it's that cold. Now, the mountains are just impossibly high around us, just impossibly high. And you really have to crane your neck right up to get a good look at them. It's just beautiful. Thought we came across a mountain lion, but there's 2 dogs playing in the snow in the bamboo. Look at that. Maybe not playing. They're sort of playing. That's weird. Little home there. I don't know how they survive out there. Or like literally in the middle of nowhere. Another big avalanche has come through here. It's a bit dicey having to go across this. If you fall, you're into the valley below. I'll see if I can have a look at what's up there. Wow. Treacherous. Now it looks like it's constantly coming down, so a little bit quick across here. Get these steps, but do it safely. Oh yeah. Otherwise you're in the valley below. Wow. And it's slippery. Wow. That's really scary, that is. Oh, we got across it. Dodgy as, but all part of the Himalayan experience, I suppose. A little rest stop here in Hinku Cave. A beautiful cave that some of the porters have stopped at, but we also have a beautiful statue of Buddha. These are the porters. Namaste. Namaste. Are you coming up or down?
Down.
Up. MBC or?
ABC.
ABC. Oh wow. They're going all the way to ABC, which is 4,130 meters up. It's another kilometer up from here, and they've got those big packs on, which is just wild that they are capable of doing that. In the distance there, you can see some blue roofs, and that's where we're heading for our sort of first major rest break of the day, which honestly hasn't taken us very long. That's called Durali, at about 3,150 or something around that. Just had a Sherpa coming the other way telling us you better put your crampons on because we've got a big avalanche up here again. This one's even bigger than the last, and it's it must be extremely icy and slippery. Well, it's icy because it's ice. It must be slippery. So he's told us to put the crampons on, and we do have some because luckily we rented them when we were in Pokhara. But if we didn't have them, you could probably still get across, but it's just like you're dicing with death, that's all. So this is what your crampons look like. They stretch over the shoe, and they've got these metal spikes, and they help you get traction when you're going across ice and snow, which is quite slippery. So I've never used them before, but I know how to put them on, so we'll see how it goes. I probably won't film myself going across that. I reckon it might be a good idea to get my sticks out and really go slow. But I just saw a dog bolting across there. I don't know where that's come from. Turns out my feet are really massive, and I can only just get the crampons on. I was trying to really reef them on, and just cramped up in my shoulder, and I started, and someone thought I'd broken my leg or something like that. No, it's just cramped up because I tried to get my crampons on, and they're really tight. Susan's got hers on. That's what they look like. Yeah, spikes on the bottom. Hers is a new one. I got the crappy old ones. But it should be alright. We're going to give it a go. That's 2 avalanches in quick succession. Got to cross them pretty easily with these crampons on. And the path's gone back to dirt again. Only a little bit of snow around. I reckon we'll probably be okay for for a little while before the snow starts to get a bit thicker again. But we are going up fairly steeply at the moment, so it won't be too long where we have to get them back on again to crampons, but I'm just going to keep them on for a little while. Hope I don't blunt them. I find that when you're doing challenging activities like this, that your confidence levels in your ability, you know, really depend on your mood. It's not to do with necessarily how well you're going, it's just the confidence levels. Yeah, the sun's come out, and I'm feeling 100 times better. And I think, you know what, this is not too bad, I can do it. You go about half an hour ago, I'm thinking, oh, can I really do this? Is this too much for me? And it's this up and down based on your confidence levels, based on your mood. It's really interesting sort of, when you think about it from a sort of self-introspection sort of point of view. How your own mood dictates whether you think you can do it or not. It's ridiculous, because of course we can do it. It's just about the mind over matter thing. So that's Durrally there, and apparently this has happened overnight, this avalanche. It's a bit sketchy as well. I can see a big crack forming up there. I can imagine all of that sort of sweeping down the valley. So we're just going to be a little bit careful and keep our pace up, get across to the other side. Durrally is a quaint little place. Nice lodging there. They've got 5 lodges here that you can choose from. I mean, they're all much of a muchness. I guess some of them will be newer and slightly more modern, but you know, you can always come here and check out the places on your own. So you get here, dump your bag and just start checking them out, see which one you prefer. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So we've just stopped for lunch, and I just sort of wanted to show you what the inside of a typical tea house dining room looks like. Usually they'll have a big long table, especially at upper levels, and then they'll have this thing here, a big blanket, and under that at night they'll often light a fire so you can keep your legs warm at night, and then you've got normal tables. And the menus here are very similar to one another. They'll have soups, you can buy chips, you can buy some Nepalese food, curries, dal bhat, that sort of stuff. They're even doing things like pizzas these days, which is wild. But there's a pretty good setup, and you can stop at these all along the way when you're going up, just to keep, you know, just to rest, maybe let yourself acclimatise a little bit slower and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. And the views are usually pretty good too. Like straight out the window is that. The sort of food you get, as I was saying, can be very varied. Like this time we've got a garlic noodle soup. It's like chicken noodle soup basically, but it's got garlic in it. Very fulfilling when it's this cold, and you also get a lot of liquid, which you dehydrate quickly at this sort of altitude, so that's nice too. And we also got one of these, which is a gurung bread, local bread. It's quite fluffy. It's freshly baked, so that's really nice to have when it's cold as well. Freshly baked hot bread, a soup, can't go wrong. This isn't even really lunch, it's like a bit of a snack, because today we're taking it slow and just stopping as much as we can and just sort of making sure that we acclimatise as best we can.
Another cool bridge. Look. That's ice cold water. We're continuing our ascent. We have our crampons on again. It's just full snow now, the path. Full snow. We've got little old school bridges. It looks like this might be the path that they use during winter, because over there is a big avalanche which has covered what I can see was an old path. Maybe they use that in the summer, maybe it's just an old one that can't be used anymore, I don't know. But we're going alright, like it's hard yakka, but it's okay. Like we're feeling okay, which is good. And the scenery, you know, it's just stunning. The weather's closing in. It's getting a bit colder as well. The weather's gotten worse and we're busting a lung. Still going up and up and up. The track's treacherous. And to be honest, there aren't that many other people around us. They're probably already hunkered down for the night in their little tea house. And we're still out here, unfortunately. We've probably got, well, I keep saying it, more than an hour to go. At least 250 vertical meters to go. But you got to try and stay positive, don't you? I did say I was going to give it a crack, and I am giving it a crack, but sometimes you've just bitten off more than you can chew. But look at that view. That view is just unreal. Unreal. Brutal. Still going up, just up and up and up. The views are getting better and better and better. The weather's a bit, it's clouded in. We passed someone actually coming down. They said there's a snowstorm up where we're going. Not sure how that's going to impact, but we'll see how it goes. We've just stopped for a rest, and sleet is coming down. It's icy rain or sleet. It's got a bit of moisture in it. We might need to bring our raincoats out. I'm not sure if it's just passing or not. We might push on a little bit because we're actually not far from our destination. We get confused with our altitude sometimes and we're not really sure where we are. Yo beauty, I see a sign for Annapurna Base Camp, which is MBC, which is where we're heading. It's up there. We're so close now. We just heard a massive clap of thunder echoing around the valley, and I actually thought it was an avalanche at first, but it was thunder. So I'm glad we're getting closer. Snow's fairly constant now, but it's okay because we're so close. Like, yeah, as we get closer to our actual guest house, ours is of course the one at the very top. Bit of blue sky. Now that's something to brighten the spirits, isn't it? There's a saying about weathering the storm and the sun will shine tomorrow and all that sort of stuff. Whatever the sayings are, but they are the ones that basically say if you put in the hard work, you'll get through it and find a beautiful view like that. I mean, it's wonderful. Oh, just beautiful. A quick tour of our accommodation. Here's the dining room. A little bit of heat in there. And then the accommodation block sort of stretches all the way along there. We've got the nearest one here. They reckon they can get you an electric blanket in there tonight. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's good because I reckon we might need it. I'll just show you the view, how it's clearing up out there. It's gotten sunny and really makes a difference when you get a bit of sun. Down the valley and up there, it is just phenomenal, and the peak is just so high. I think that is the Annapurna mountain, which is like 7,000 meter tall mountain, and we're at 3,007, so it's right up there. And then down the valley, it's just stunning. It's so bright and sunny down there now. It's a pretty euphoric feeling getting here and seeing that view out there. It's just wonderful. That wraps up day 3 of trekking for us here in the Himalayas. We've got another day tomorrow, which is when we go to another sort of higher peak, which is at 4,130 meters. So stick around for that. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and we're just about ready to roll on our trek up to the base camp, the Annapurna Base Camp. This is what we've been sort of heading for the past 4 days. We're doing it at night because we think we can get a good sunrise this morning and we're hoping for the best. The weather seems okay, so let's get stuck in. We had a bit of an uneasy sleep last night, tossing and turning, mainly because of the altitude, and you don't really get enough fresh air and your oxygen levels drop. My watch even alerted me that, hey, you've got low oxygen here, be careful. But other than that, no headaches, no sickness, no other symptoms. But now that we're climbing, you just do get breathlessness that you wouldn't ordinarily get with this level of exertion. So we're just taking it easy, which is the smart thing to do, I think. We can see 2 lights in front of us, so there are other people walking at this time of the day, which is promising. Behind us, there is no one. think the first light might be in about 1 hour, so yeah, it'll all be sort of non-scary by that stage. We've only been going 15 minutes. We've got about 500 meters up the hill outside of the hotel. I'm absolutely gone. I'm gone. It's brutal. We've got to do it though. I don't feel sick, but gee, I'm a bit worried. It's just so much harder than I expected. So we're going to carry on, but I'm willing to turn back at any point if it does get like dangerous or anything like that. So the good thing is the snow underfoot is quite crunchy and icy because it's so cold now. Much easier than it was yesterday afternoon after the snow had melted slightly and it was a little bit more slippery and slushy. So we carry on. The first slight outline appears on the horizon as we get past the 4,000 meter mark, which is an incredible feat, really. But we've still got a little way to go. We now have the first signs of the sunrise. It's beautiful. You know that time before the sun actually pops over the horizon, you have that really blue sky. Well, that's what we've got now, with a tiny tinge of red on the clouds below. And look at that view. That big peak there, I think that's what they call fishtail, because from a different angle it looks like a fishtail, but from here it just looks like a big, like, pyramid. I think they say majestic up there. And then we have, in that direction, a beautiful view. I can actually see the Annapurna Base Camp in the distance. I can see a light up there, which I'm assuming is it. And it's phenomenal. The views here are just amazing and well worth the brutal hike up here. It is very difficult, but worth it. Because it snowed overnight, the track's unclear and it's quite deep snow. So we just need to make sure that we're stepping on snow which is not too deep and is just snowed over the previous path. If you get on some of that really hollow stuff, you can go easily thigh deep. It's hard to explain just how difficult this section is, this final section towards the base camp. It's deep, deep snow, and because no one's sort of walked on it yet today, we're sort of going thigh deep, knee deep, just went in. It's just so hard. Unreal. Just had a helicopter come past. Not sure what the story is there. Maybe evacuating someone who's gotten a bit sick up here, or maybe even just a tourist sort of ride. Apparently you can do those too. It's actually a really interesting aspect of this hike is that thing was dropping off supplies, I think, bottles of, I don't know what it is, probably fuel of some sort. Oh, there's a dog. Look at the dog coming down. How cool is that? How'd that dog get up here? These dogs love it up here. It's got a bit of snow on it. Cool. We just crossed paths with the guy that we had stayed the night with the night before last at Himalaya. And that guy, South Korean, he decided to come all the way up here yesterday, which for me wouldn't be possible because I'm not capable. But for him, he felt fit enough to do it. Just met him. He says he has to get down quick because he's quite sick. He's got a splitting headache and he's got to get down to lower altitude. So that's sort of what happens if you ascend too quickly, I guess. We've actually made it to the base camp. Now, my camera says that we're at 4,250, but the sign says 4,130. Whatever the case, it's high. So we've made it to the Annapurna Base Camp, and it's a fantastic feeling to actually finally get here after that brutal climb right up that mountain. Especially this one this morning. It's been particularly hard. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And Susan's just going to duck in here for the final. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sinoa and Nepal. Catch you next time. Hey.